She like I'm thick, call me Robin. Been on my shit, not the potty. Sick of staying in, I wanna party. Won't apologize for being me, I'm sorry. You can call me, I think you my type of feast. You know that us thick boys like to eat. Chabella poi, vanilla qui. Turn the heat up, ignite the street, thick boy summer. Tip-top form, been in the crib like I just got born. Is that your girl? Tell her hit my phone. She can press record, get a TikTok on. Thick boy summer, thick, 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 thick boy summer. She like I'm thick, thick, thick boy summer, thick, thick boy summer, thick, thick boy summer. The summer is thick, thick boy summer, thick, 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 thick boy summer. She
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Party and Politics. I'm your host, Tony Vincent. With me, I have a very special guest tonight, Brian Holtzman. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Excellent. So you are a stand-up comedian, and you have joined the flock in Texas. Is this correct?
Yes.
Now, are you doing this to make a stance, or are you're just been twiddling your thumbs because you haven't been able to grace that stage in a while?
I'm Vincent. Can you tell me a little about you and where are you from? Where are you coming from? Where do you live?
I'm in the Detroit area, Michigan.
Detroit? Oh, Detroit. Shit! Bam!
That seems to be the stereotype, right?
How's the water over there? You drinking the water?
I am. That's why I'm like this.
So I came
nice and brown for you.
I came out here. Because I want a garage. I never had a garage. I never had a house. I want a garage. I want a backyard so I can have a dog. So I came to Austin to maybe throw my hat in the ring, and maybe someday I can have a fucking garage. That's all I want is a garage.
Hey, that's the American dream, right? I mean, if you can't give a man a garage, what can a man get? I mean, it's the modern day 40 acres and a mule. Am I right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. So you're taking the full plunge out there. It's not just vacation, or you're fully out there now.
Yes, I drove my old pickup, my 91 pickup, 155,000 miles. I drove it all the way from LA, and I'm renting this room for $700 a month. I have my own bathroom. Hey. I have a refrigerator. This is my desk. I'm here.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You're doing it. We get a round of applause, man. Hey, that $700. That same room probably would have cost you $7,000 in LA. Am I right?
Yeah. So I've done Kill Tony. I left Los Angeles on February 1st around 2:30 in the afternoon. And I arrived in Austin on Thursday, about 6 p.m. I did Kill Tony. That should air Monday. And I did a comedy show at the Vulcan Gas Company, Red Band. You know Brian Red Band.
Yeah.
He has a show called The Secret Show, and he put me on there, and I went up on that show. I hadn't been on stage in a whole year, and Vincent, they were great. They took everything I had to say, and they didn't, some didn't laugh, but you can't get everybody, Vince. You can't get everybody.
You can't. Are you finding that the things people react to in Texas are a little different than the, West Coast LA audience?
Somebody said the other day, Austin is like LA without the attitude.
Okay.
Austin, everybody is very friendly. It's like they're enjoying their life. They're not walking around with buttons that are waiting to be pushed. They could they're having a good time. They're young, they're beautiful, they're hip, they're in Austin. They could give a shit about what some dumbass comic is saying. They're not going to take it serious. They're not going to take it like, oh my God, did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? They don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy because LA's always had this laid back stereotype, but it does, people do get up in arms about what seems to be kind of little things to be getting up in arms about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so what I'm curious about is your background, because you kind of have an East Coast accent. Are you originally from out east?
I'm originally from Long Island, Vincent.
Long Island.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you?
I didn't get that in the intro, so I apologize. Shout out to Long Island. Facts. All right. So did you go ahead? No.
So what is this podcast I'm on?
So this is called Party and Politics. Really has nothing to do with partying or politics. It's really about everything in between. Hey, if you want to party a little bit, we can party. I know in Texas you're not allowed to do this anymore, so maybe we can have a drink or two. Have some scotch, have a little whiskey. I don't know what your medicine is.
Everything.
Taking it all.
I want to get high. I want to forget about who I am. I want to go on the fourth dimension.
Oh yeah. What is so are you having to relax a little bit more? Are you having to keep your composure a little bit now that you're in a new place, or are you just letting it all go? You're not giving a fuck.
Yeah, I'm myself here. I just got here, and then we had all this terrible weather, so I've been shipwrecked in this room. This room. Oh, I also have a TV too. I have a TV.
Okay, I see it. Nice. This is like MTV Cribs.
So I haven't had time to get out there and really explore because of this weather, this weather event that we're having here.
Yeah, that is crazy that you guys are getting hit with all this snow, and you probably weren't expecting that. And I know there's a lot of people who don't even have power right now, but it seems like you got the lights on, so I'm assuming you haven't been impacted by that traumatically.
Yes, we're very lucky. We still have the internet, the lights, and the heater. What happened is Texas, most states share power grid. If another state needs power, they call up the other state. Arizona calls New Mexico calls Arizona, California calls Nevada. But Texas, because I'm a Texan and I don't need anybody. I don't need the Navy. I don't need anybody. Texas doesn't share a power grid with any other states. Right. So when their shit hits the fan, there's nobody to call. There's nobody to help. Here in Austin, they don't even have snow plows. Wow. They don't even have salt. Yeah. You know what they have? Guardrail damage. That's what they have in Texas right now.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Do you and I'm not a person about like karma and spirituality or anything like that, but do you feel like California is kind of looking at all the comedian flock that left them and is kind of like, what did I tell you, kind of shaking their finger at you, or you're still like, fuck them, I don't even care?
In my stage in life, I could give two shits what anybody thinks or what anybody says. The people who are talking like that, I guess those are the people with the problem.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem. Everybody does what they want to do. And it's a short plane ride back to Los Angeles when the Comedy Store opens. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent residence for me. But I'm here. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. It is crazy to me because I didn't realize how official this Austin area was becoming in terms of the.
Oh, it's booming. It's booming. There's a club that I didn't even know about in New York called the Creek and the Cave or some bullshit. Okay. That's moving out here. Joe Rogan said he's going to open up a club out here. I mean, comedy is just. I mean, when this COVID-19 goes away, I think it's going to be on steroids.
Yeah. No, it sounds like it. Absolutely.
That's what happened to my truck.
Oh shit! I can barely. Oh, now I can see it. Oh damn! You had a little bit of little head-on collision there.
Thursday night, right after my show, coming home. I could have been killed, Vincent. I could have been killed.
Was that the snow? Was that you not used to the cold? I mean, because you probably haven't seen snow in what, 30 years?
Vincent, it had nothing to do with the snow or the ice. I was shit-faced. Shit-faced, Vincent. I couldn't feel.
My mistake.
I couldn't feel from my neck down. I was shit-faced.
You're doing the old Christopher Reeve dance. I see what you're saying. I got you. Yeah, that's hey, all the power to you. That's sometimes you gotta live wild like that. So
I'm sorry about my volume. I'm sorry about the internet is so good here that I've had complaints about, you know, my volume being too loud. Is it okay now?
Yeah, no, I mean you're pretty loud, but you're a loud man. So if you weren't loud, this would seem inauthentic. It wouldn't seem like you were being you, and people would think I got some type of imitation on here.
Well, you know what it is too. One of the most annoying things is when you have to strain to hear something or hear somebody, right?
Yeah,
it's annoying. So I want to make sure that I'm projecting. So somebody, what do you say? What do you say? You know, you don't want any of that, you know?
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that anyone's going to have that problem, but they might have that problem after the conversation with you, Brian.
There you go. I got you on the widescreen now.
Nice. I'm living large.
So tell me a little about you, Vincent. How'd you find me?
Oh, that's a great question. I appreciate that. So I myself, as a podcaster, I've been following podcasts, also following the comedy scene and things like that. And I've heard about you. You know, you've been mentioned in different podcasts, and obviously I saw you on the Showtime thing. So that's pretty cool that you were on the Comedy Store doc. You had that. So, you know, you have this. You definitely have this unique style. It's just very commanding, and that's, you know, I definitely wanted to know more. I've been trying to find, you know, videos of you in terms of your stand-up, all this kind of stuff. So I'm glad that you're starting to build this online presence, because I think that's been a long time coming. So that's my whole thing. I'm been doing the podcast, rapper, you know, streamer, just content kind of creation, entrepreneur kind of thing. So doing the whole thing. What do we got here?
No, I'm just gonna clean my glasses. That's all. Go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a show and tell, you were gonna show me something.
I only wear these glasses for seeing, you know, to see closer, I think. Well, maybe I don't need them. But anyway, so I really haven't had a chance to check out Austin. I mean, I was here just a short time, and then the weather hit. So, but I've been downtown. I've been to the strip where all the music is played and all the clubs, and everybody seems real nice. And somebody wants me to come and do something on Thursday, but I don't know if I'll make it because we're trying to do Dead Air, the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
That's been canceled. It may be canceled again this week. So I came out to do the Dead Air. I didn't want to let that die, and do some comedy. You know, they're doing parking lot shows in L.A.
Yeah. And
the last thing I want to do is a parking lot show.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too appealing. I can't imagine it.
It's like a parking lot show to me is like the guy who's barking outside the club to try to get people to come in.
Yeah.
You know? A bar barker. A bar barker.
Yeah.
A bar barker.
Yeah, it'll take you back to your rookie days when you had
exactly
hustle and bustle and try to get people into the club. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are doing that, and they're just, you know, they're like, it is what it is, but I totally understand. I can't imagine going from, you know, the typical comedy room bar, nightclub, to saying, okay, you got to do in this parking garage. You got the traffic going, all this shit, all these distractions. It just, I mean, I respect the hustle. I respect the grind. I respect the, hey, I'm going to put on a show regardless of the circumstance. But man, that's got to be tough for everybody involved.
Yeah, it just must suck.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm never doing that shit. You're just, it's.
Oh no. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna play with no acoustics. It's like a summer fair. You know. You ever see bands that play in the daytime?
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
A band playing at night with the lights is not the same as a band playing outdoors. It's like a what do they call it? A state fair bullshit. The state fair bullshit.
Yeah. Some country music going on. Yeah. No, that's I can't imagine that at all. So was that pretty much the last straw for you? Were you like, look, if I perform here, I literally have to do it outside, and I'm not doing that. So I'm packing my bags, going to Austin with everyone else. I mean, what was the straw that broke, Brian's back?
It wasn't a straw that broke the camel's back. It was, I wanted to continue Dead Air. My producer, Red Band, moved to Austin, Texas. I didn't want to let Dead Air die. So, and nothing was going on at the Comedy Store, my home club in Los Angeles, the world famous Comedy Store. That place was dead. Yeah. LA was dead. Everything's locked up. I said, it's a good opportunity. I'm free. I'm not working. I can do whatever I want. I can lay in the gutter in a puddle of my own vomit if I want. You know what I mean? So I just said, I'll just go out. We'll do some Dead Air and work the clubs. I wanted to see if my act, Vincent, would see. I've been in a cocoon at the Comedy Store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in a cocoon for 25 years. I've been in a cocoon. So I also was curious about my act. Will it translate to other audiences in other places?
Yeah, no, that's something I'm interested in too, because you going from the Comedy Store, that whole West Coast, that whole LA scene. Let me ask you this. Were you doing comedy in New York at all, or did you move to California before you even became a comedian?
I got a job with United Airlines in 1986.
Okay.
And San Francisco was a comedy town at the time, and that's where I started the open mics. And then I transferred with United Airlines to Los Angeles and continued the open mics until I got in at the Comedy Store.
I see. So was it like an accident that you stumbled upon? Like you had some free time in San Francisco one night and you stumbled upon it, or you just like knew something happened where you were like, I'm going to start developing an act? I mean, what was that process?
Some of you viewers are too young to remember this, but I always remembered stand-up comedy on HBO, On Location. Yeah. Do you remember that? It was a small, intimate room, Freddie Prinze, with a brick background. So I always knew about stand-up comedy, but I never put the two and two together until I was in Okinawa. And I had taken this class, and at the end of the class, they had a celebration dinner, and they let me MC it. And it was just great. And I think that's when the seed was planted. Then I got the job with United. I went to San Francisco, and I didn't want to get married and have a family and play that game.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to do something. And so I threw my hat in the ring, and it was fun. It's been fun ever since. I've been very fortunate to get hooked up with the Comedy Store in Mitzi Shore, and I've continued to do it. But I think I signed a paper that I don't remember. So I think I signed something that says you can do comedy, but you can never make any money at it.
Okay.
All I want is a garage. That's all I want is a garage. That's all.
Give the man a garage, please, for the love of God. Well, you're on your way to the garage, man. You're You're
I
on
hope so.
Yeah. So do you here's a question. So you got to actually be there before Mitzi Shore passed and everything like that. Do you feel like be as amazing as that time period when you could be passed by her now? Because I mean, not to disparage anyone else who's there passing people, but obviously I feel like it has to be a badge of honor that you got to be one of the people that got passed, and she can never do this again, right? She's not with us anymore. So, do you feel kind of bad for like newer comedians that will never get to kind of have that magic touch from her?
Well, certainly, that is a vacuum that will never be filled. Mitzi Shore she was so smart in so many ways. Everything she did, there was a reason for it. She said, if I pay comics, then they're not going to take chances. They're not going to come up with new material. They're going to treat it like a job, like everything she did had a reason. And to be liked by her, don't get me wrong, Vincent, it took me 5 years to get past.
Yeah.
At one point, I came off the stage and they were laughing real hard. It was a wonderful, I said, how's that? I mean, what do you want me to do? So finally she passed me, and she, in the beginning, she gave me a spot 7 nights a week. Every single night of the week, I worked in the original room. That's the room, the smaller room with the window, not the main room and not the belly room. And she gave me a spot 7 days a week. And I said to myself right then, I said, it can only get worse. It can't get any better than 7 nights a week. Yeah. So I was able to keep my day job and work at the Comedy Store. I never had to go on the road. See?
Yeah.
Why would I want to go on the road and play some mall or some stupid Chuckle House or Bob's Laugh House or some bullshit when I'm playing the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, California?
Yeah. No, that's...
So that's my story. I have a lot of experience doing comedy at the Comedy Store, but not a lot of road work. Not a lot of road work at all.
Yeah, so this is definitely new to you. So, do you think part of that was that ever like, were you just scared to get out there more, or was it just like being in LA, Hollywood, the Comedy Store, so much magic to it? It's like, why leave this behind? Why do anything else? I mean, was that more your mindset to not going on the road?
Well, yeah. I've retired from my day jobs. I remember having a day job and something went wrong on that day job. I don't want to go into it now, but and I went out and got another day job because I knew my act.
Yeah, absolutely.
And comics want to go on the road because they need the money. They got to pay the rent.
Yeah.
So if I don't need the money, and I'm working at the Comedy Store, I don't need to, hire me. Hire me. Hire me. I want to get in the plane, and I want to make after I'm said. I want to make $10 after everything is said and done.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I hear what you're saying. You felt like you had to kind of, if you're going out on the road, you're almost having to put yourself out there to bargain for pay. It's a whole uncomfortable position versus what about hopping on someone else? I mean, come on. I mean, you have respect from comedians that are pretty big. You are known from comedians that are pretty big. I have to imagine that you could have hopped on a tour as an opener and got like a guaranteed paycheck, that kind of thing. Was that just not an option earlier on or something?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to, I don't know. Would you like to follow me?
I mean, I am following you now. oh, you mean in comedy? Okay. I mean, I'd like to get some, a good amount of an act together before I followed you. That's for sure.
I don't think, an opening act is supposed to, make it easy for the headliner. You don't want an opening act that's out there screaming and shouting, or I don't know. You know what I mean? If no one's asked me to, if no one has wanted me to open up for them, nobody wants me to open up for them, and I don't ask. I have a problem with asking for things too. It's real hard to ask for things. If you know how to play the trumpet, or you know how to play the piano, you can say, "Hey, I'm a great pianist." Yeah. But for me personally, it's hard to say, "Oh, I'm funny. I'm funny. I'm funny." That's hard for me to do. That's almost like an ego trip. Everybody's funny. Everybody thinks they're funny.
I mean, this is true, but you got some credentials. I mean, let's be honest. You're not starting from square one. You didn't just hop off United Airlines or whatever airline you worked for. This is you got some skin in the game. You put in some work. So I can't imagine that you can't still feel like that. I mean,
maybe I'm afraid. Maybe I'm afraid that the answer is going to be no. How's that?
I mean, that's fair. Do you have? I mean, I feel like I'm gonna step in and just say, "Hey, Brian, we're getting Brian on tour right now. He's at least middling, right? I mean, come on, like it's and in terms of what you said about not wanting the opener to do really well, and I mean, if you're not gonna be able to handle that, then why even have an opener? I mean, you should want somebody who's really gonna get the crowd going, get them from I'm not at a comedy show to bam, I'm at a comedy show. I mean, that's what again, the business probably better than me, right? So I'm not going to talk out of turn, but I feel like that should be the policy, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for that. And also, I heard enough horror stories from the comics at the Comedy Store. They were never particularly happy about going on the road. They wanted to get a job in television. Well, they wanted to get a writing job, anything to keep them off the road. Now, the road is there's Jerry Seinfeld and Jay Leno road, and then there's or Bill Burr road. See, there's different levels of road. So if you're going on the road, what's that other guy who broke up with the Rednecks? That big guy, what's his name? He likes his cocktails. Very funny guy. He used to work with the Redneck Crews. The Rednecks.
The blue collar comedy crew. Are you talking about the guy that's in Texas with the white hair, Ron White?
Yeah, Ron White. Yeah, Ron White's making a lot of money. He's established himself. That's going on the road is different from, theaters or clubs. There's different levels of the road. So you got to decide what your budget is, how badly you need the money. I mean, some of these Las Vegas clubs, Vincent, are doing 14 shows for shit money.
Yeah.
14 shows. Monday to Sunday for like $1,200.
Oh, wow.
Give me a break. Give me a break, Vincent.
Yeah, no, that's man.
Now you either love telling jokes, and that's the most important to you in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Or you need the money.
Yeah.
See? And I never want to do it because I need the money. And I don't need the money. Yeah. I just like doing it when it works. It's fun as hell. I get a kick out of it, And that's why I'm here, I'm here because, I get to do it. They let me do it. There's a billion comics. I mean, there's a billion comics.
Oh yeah,
so
sure.
I'm coming from a very humble place. Yeah. There's enough ego out there, man, especially in show business and sports and the golf course. Ego is like this whole country is running on out of control ego. Yeah. You just look around. And I'm not going there. I'm not going there, Because people love to put people back on your heels. Yeah. People like to put people back on their heels. It seems sometimes. So you gotta watch out. You gotta be careful. You gotta keep in your lane. I used to say this to myself whenever I went to the club. I'm not going to be upset or offended by anything anybody says to me, about me, or behind my back. And if you can keep that in your head, you'll be better off. Because you know, a lot of these people who make some money, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
They're fucking nuts. Their ego's out of control. And they're nuts. You don't know who you're talking to. You have a nice style. You're very easy to talk to. Your questions are very clear and precise. You handle yourself. Look how comfortable I am talking to you.
Yeah.
Because I just see you. I don't see an agenda. I don't see mixed emotions and different personalities. I just see Vincent. Mm-hmm. See what I mean? It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate that. That's definitely big prop. So definitely. And yeah, no, it's show business. I mean, obviously you're more entrenched in it than I am, for sure. But I'm sure it's not only that, the phoniness, the kill or be killed. Like you said, with there being so many comedians, maybe a lot of people feel like they have to cross someone else to get ahead, that whole kind of thing. So I'm sure it makes things uncomfortable, and you seem like a really easygoing, nice guy. You don't want to get involved in the blood of it, you know? So I can see your perspective on that. Like you're kind of like, hey, you're riding the wave, wherever the wave takes you, that's where you're going, it seems like.
Yeah. I got the stamp of approval by the icon, Mitzi Shore.
Yeah.
So, you know, how that happened, I met her. I treated her just like I'm treating you now. I wasn't intimidated by her. I just treated her like a good friend, and we just hit it off.
Yeah.
And I didn't have sex with her.
Contrary to popular belief.
And we just hit it off, and you know, she was just wonderful. And I mean, it means a lot to you when the owner of the world famous comedy store, you know, we had a great relationship, and she had great relationships with other comics too. It wasn't just me, but but not all the comics. I mean, you know, but I wasn't intimidated by her. You know, I was, you know, I just treated her normally, and yeah, so I feel blessed to have that stamp of approval. One time we went to the Latino Laugh Festival. The guy running it, what was his name? Jeff Valdez ran the Latino Laugh Festival in San Antonio one year, and he thought it'd be a gas to invite me.
Okay.
And my mother flew out because I was working for United Airlines, and she met me, my mom, and Mitzi Shore flew out, and it was just wonderful, you know.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you feel like part of that, because you did mention how you treat her like a normal person, in whether it's entertainment, show business, whatever you want to call it, do you feel like that, you know, goes, like, if you can maintain your composure? That's you?
That's me, and that's Mitzi Shore and my mom on the left with the flowered shirt.
What year is this?
This was 94, maybe 96.
Wow. Man, you had to, what I would have done to be a fly on the wall in that era of you coming up and seeing all the guys and all the people that just came up in that era. I mean, you know, you had to be around Joey Diaz, all these people that were, you know, developing and all that kind of stuff. I can't imagine what that would have been like.
Yeah, Joey Diaz is a very funny comic, and we're very good friends. And what did he tell me? Something that's real funny. Anyway, he's always he lives in New Jersey now. Yeah. But I think he was great on the Comedy Store special. He was great. He says his daughter doesn't know dick. When he was 12 years old, he was running numbers. He was stealing cars and robbing banks. And my daughter doesn't know dick.
Yeah,
it's great.
Wow, was that one of the first times you were performing?
That's early San Francisco.
Wow, holy shit. You got all this You got all this footage, man. That's awesome. Yeah, you've held on to that.
Yeah, it was fun seeing all those people. One time I met the guy, what's his name? Gregory, the comic. He died. The black comic, Gregory. What was his first name?
Oh, Dick Gregory?
Dick Gregory I met at the Comedy Store once.
Wow.
He was in the hallway. He was watching me, and he had very nice compliments to tell me, you know. Dick Gregory, he started the whole thing. He used to play the Playboy Club, and they would still yell out the N-word at him.
Wow.
He was a real pioneer. You know, it was the first time they let black comics play at the Playboy clubs in Chicago and what have you. And he had to put up with that stuff. And I met him. That was an honor to meet him. And, of course, Andrew Dice Clay, you know.
Yeah.
I remember listening to Dice in the heyday when I was in the brake shop at United Airlines. And my friend would come up to me, "Did you hear this guy Dice? Did you hear this guy Dice?" You know?
Yeah, and the fucking world. Wow.
I never got to really meet Sam Kinison. I got to LA in '89, and he was killed in that car accident a little bit later. November of '89, then he died a few months later. So I never got a chance to really
meet him.
Meet him. I just saw him a few times.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit, man. Yeah. The crazy things you've seen in the different the evolution of comedy and everything like that. Wow. And you're on you're in the beginning of it. That's whatever is going on now. I feel like all those guys that were working on their craft then. Holy shit. What is this? About like 2098?
That's Joe Rogan, myself, and that's my nephew and his father. My nephew was like, he was underage. I don't know how old he was. He couldn't have been more than, he probably didn't even have any hair on his balls. And I told the Comedy Store he just got back from Iraq. Let him in the club. He just got back from Iraq.
But it wasn't true.
No.
Oh man, that's legendary.
But yeah, I'm just having fun with it. You know what I mean? You know, I got this thing where I think if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it for sure.
You know, I can only do my best when I'm on stage. And I know it's show business, and a lot of people are better at networking. They're better about asking for things. They're better at the business side of it. And I have trouble with all those things.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, obviously, I'm not in any position to speak to you about the business side of things, but your manager, agent, whoever, that's, you know, they let you be the artist, and they handle all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, they're that's their job. Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully you have somebody. Go ahead.
That has your best interest, right?
Right.
Yeah. Did they some of your team in that? Were they kind of some of the people that were pushing you? I know you mentioned Brian Redband with your podcast. Obviously, that was a huge thing. But before him, I mean, was different management people or agents like, hey, this is where everything's going? Or are those people actually resisting the change? That's what I'm interested in, that dynamic.
Rephrase the question.
Oh, okay, I do apologize. So what I was asking is, one of the reasons that with you moving to Austin, let me just say that, were the maybe different business people, you know, whether it's your agent, manager, whoever, were they kind of resistant to the shift to Austin, since they probably have been LA based their entire career? Or you weren't getting any hold back, any flack from them at all?
No, I had a manager for about a minute after I went to the Latino Laugh Festival.
Okay.
And I had an agent once too, and she cut me. If you have an agent and you don't show up, or you can't make a particular booking, you know, an audition, they really don't like that. They cut you right away.
Wow.
So I really haven't had that question doesn't apply to me because I don't have anybody that's working for me.
I got you. You're a free agent. You're a free man right now. You're open
Right.
for you're taking interviews.
Well, I don't know. I think a manager or an agent, if they think they can make money, that's when I think they'll approach you. If there's no money to be made, they really don't want to bother with you. Somebody told me in Hollywood, you got to be making at least $100,000 a year or have something, a little push, or else they don't want to deal with you. So, and again, I don't solicit. I have a problem soliciting.
Yeah, you're not putting yourself out there.
If I don't solicit and they don't ask, you get what you get.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It is an interesting dynamic in show business. My last podcast, I had a person who used to be an A&R at Interscope Records, and we were talking about how, like, in the music industry right now, you almost have to be generating your own income as an independent artist or your own buzz before anybody will sign you. And it almost seems like, well, what's the point then? It's like, I mean, I understand. I'm not completely stupid in terms of that. I understand that you have more funding, you can do more things, but so it sounds like maybe that's the case in even every aspect of the entertainment industry. If you're not generating your own buzz and your own income, then these other people aren't really going to be doing business with you, essentially, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting dynamic, but yeah, like you said, you're not in any hurry to do any business with them. So you're out here living your life. You're living your best Brian Holtzman life. You're loving it. You're getting to see a new area, a new state. That's exciting. I mean, you're kind of being reborn in a sense, right?
Right. I call it, throwing my hat into the comedy world, getting out of that cocoon of the main room at the comedy store.
Yeah, that's you were right. You rode that thing to the bitter end, though. You rode it till the brakes fell off.
And I hadn't been on stage since March 11th of last year. Was my last show in the main room. It was a Wednesday evening, and then I got on stage here in Austin on Thursday evening, and it was just a beautiful experience. It was like I hadn't been off a whole year.
Wow. So it was like riding a bike, just clicked right away.
I just got up there, and they were great, and they loved it. They didn't question all, because I talk some nonsense. It's there's some, I told them, I said, I'm as embarrassed saying this to you as you are laughing at it.
I mean, the nonsense is what makes you. I mean, without the nonsense, I don't know if there is a Brian Holtzman. I mean, you need to hang on to that. Now you need to dive into that nonsense, rub it all over you. I mean, that's what I say. So, but don't take my advice. I don't know what I'm doing either. So I'm just out here free balling. So.
No, you're doing a good job. This is a very professional looking and sounding podcast. You're doing great.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. So I definitely appreciate that.
I'm sorry about my sound, my equipment.
Hey, no, I mean, we got it. We got you in a reasonable amount of distance to
This is the bathroom. This is the bathroom door over here. This is the bathroom right here. Hello.
I don't want you to upset the other people living there. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I'm excited for you, man. That's awesome. When you first went on stage it's been almost a year, and you're a pretty honest guy. Was it a little nerve-wracking at first? I mean, did you feel like, oh, do I still have this? Do I still know how to, perform this whole kind of thing? I mean, what was the thought process before stepping on for that long of a gap? Because I know almost all comedians haven't had that much of a gap in time of performing.
Good question. Thursday, my phone, I have a YouTube channel, Brian Holtzman on YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen. You don't have to watch. You don't have to listen, but subscribe.
Yeah,
so,
that's the big thing. Yeah.
So You know, you might like it, you might not. It's, you know, I do what I think is nice, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you can only do what you can do. I can't present something that a 25-year-old is presenting or an 18-year-old is presenting. Yeah. I have to present what I think at my age, what I want to present. And if people like it and they move on, that's fine. So that day, Thursday, usually I get dressed and get ready for the show from my residence, you know?
Yeah.
But that day, I had to go out and get a new iPhone.
Okay.
And then I had to go to Best Buy and get the case. If you get a case like this, you can drop it all day long and nothing will happen to it.
Yeah.
I don't know why people don't get a case that covers the thing. Yeah. Right? No, you see people with a cracked screen all the time.
Yeah.
Get a case.
I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, Brian. I got to admit, I'm not. I'm going out. I'm rocking it raw out here. I'm taking risk.
Oh no, you can't take. That's $1,000 camera. You can't take a risk with that. Oh man, you're brave. You're brave, man.
I've made some very brave decisions in life, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well, but that's part of the ride.
It's not when you're going to drop it. It's like a motorcycle. It's not when you're going to have an accident. It's when.
Yeah. Yep.
Do they have a helmet law in Detroit? Is there a motorcycle helmet law?
They took off the helmets. They don't make you wear a helmet. We still have to wear a seatbelt, ironically. So we have to wear a seatbelt in our protected big vessel, but you could go out there without a helmet, 90 miles an hour, and nothing but a bicycle.
So I was going out. Then I knew I couldn't come home before the show. It was too late. The show started about 8 p.m. So after Best Buy, I went right to the show. So to be honest with you, the last thing I was thinking about was doing a comedy show, you know?
Wow.
And that's what I like. Before I go on, some comics, they need to prepare. Please leave me alone. I need to prepare.
Meditate.
I want to think about anything and everything except what's going to happen in about 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because I want it to be organic. I want it to be just like we're talking now.
Yeah.
See? If I can relax up there and just talk like we're talking now, there's two types of comics, and I've been guilty of being both of them. There's a comic that's a comic on stage. And there's a comic on stage that's playing a comic. And you don't want to play comic. And I've been there where you might be waiting for a laugh, or you might be apprehensive. You might be trying to get a laugh. You might be, I think you have to go up there and not give a fuck about what's going on out there. Yeah. And just present what you need to present. And then it works better because it's organic. I mean, you wouldn't talk to me, or I wouldn't talk to you at a party if you had a list. And I said, Vincent, I'm going to say this. And then you say, Brian, I'm going to say this now. And Vincent, I'm going to say this now. Then I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to end with this. Oh, for Christ's sake. What fun would that be for me, right? Or the audience?
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Now, I know that's the way you're supposed to do it. I know that's the way you're supposed to do it. But I can't seem to do it.
Well, what you're doing is obviously working because you're getting notoriety. Maybe you don't see it. I don't know, but you're definitely developing a following. You have this. I
got no garage.
The garage is coming. I'm telling you, Brian. The garage is coming. You're gonna have a 5-car garage. It's not just gonna be one. It's gonna be as many as, and you're not even gonna put a car in there. You can just live in the garage. Fuck the house. Just live in the garage.
Do you have a garage?
I do have a garage. Yeah.
Yes, you got a garage. Good for you.
But it's Detroit though. Remember, so you get what you pay for, Brian.
Do you have a community garden?
No community garden.
I saw on the television they have a lot of abandoned places, and they're making community garden and growing vegetables.
Yeah, no, it's getting new hip, and so they're taking abandoned property, growing things, turning things into community farms, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you're not doing the road and stuff, you probably haven't been to Detroit and God knows when. But it's I will tell you, it's definitely come back in a big way in the past 10 years. So it's not the stereotype. I talk to people all the time, and and I get you're being funny. It's fine, but it's definitely a whole different. It's a booming metropolis, or at least it was before all this kind of happened. So all that.
You mentioned some road gigs. I went to Anchorage, Alaska twice, and I really didn't have a good time. And I met a guy there, and I told him, I said, I'm really not myself up there. And you know what he said? Do you know what he said?
What he said?
He said, well, isn't that the main idea, to be somebody else? And I went, damn.
Yeah.
Then I did a show at a place in Chicago, and the air conditioner was broken, and that was a train wreck too. Then I did another one in Chicago once. Doug Stanhope called me to go out there and do it, and Joey Diaz. I get there, I called Joey Diaz on the phone. I said, where are you? Where are you? He said, Holtzman, I'm not going, Holtzman. So that was a train wreck. And then I did one in, So that's why it was important for me to come here and see if it all happens. Maybe I wasn't ready at that time, to do it, and I was just too thinking about the audiences, They told me Alaska's a lot of Republicans. Alaska's got a lot of Republicans. Sure, and for some reason that stuck in my head. So I was handicapping myself.
Yeah.
Instead of just going out there and being myself and let the chips fall where they met, And then Chicago, the air conditioner was broken, and again I wasn't. I mean, this is stand-up comedy. You can't baby fuck it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. So it's any of those little things, but I feel like that's stuff that you do gotta just have that experience to get over and just realize, hey, fuck what the audience thinks, because if you're thinking about that the whole time, you're going to be way too in your head. You're not going to be present. And as you said earlier, that organic sound where it doesn't sound like it's scripted. And I know that every person who talks about comedy, even comedians themselves, when you're younger and you don't know, you just think these people on these stand-up specials are just telling you something. You don't know that this was all kind of in their head or, pre-planned. So that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to sound like, like you said, like we're reading a fucking list or something.
Word for word. Most of them are doing it word for word.
Yeah.
Word for word. I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, then I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say that, then I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say that. I got a middle, a beginning, and an end. Yeah. Woo. Wow, if you can memorize all that, my hat's off to you.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to come from nerves a lot too, though. If you feel like I need to stay on this structure, if I deviate, then I'm going to forget the rest of the set. So I'm sure that's got to be part of it, to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun digging yourself a hole and getting out of it.
Yeah.
The silence, who breaks first, you or the audience,
Yeah. Oh, no, you've
a tightrope. It's just a tightrope. It's just a tightrope. Every time I go out there, I'll tell you the truth. We don't know how it's going to go. We hope it's going to go good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that intensity, that makes it all worth the while, I think, too, for the audience as well, because, you got.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything derogatory about the other entertainers. The bottom line is the audience is laughing. Who are you to judge the comic when the audience is laughing?
Yeah, no, that's a fair
If you
point.
judge the comic harshly, then you're judging the whole audience that's laughing at that comic.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah. So you don't want to be a snob about it. I get it. Yeah. I mean, as long as they're coming there to laugh, if that's the end goal, then, hats off to them. Absolutely. So do you, obviously you're in Austin right now. Do you have any show dates that you need to plug that we need to put on here so the people know?
Are we coming to the end of the podcast, Vincent?
We are shifting towards the end. Yes, Brian.
Okay. This is a keychain. See my keychain?
I love it. That's nice.
What does it say?
I heard Holtzman. I dig it. I need that.
And then there's buttons over here. This one
nice.
says, I saw, what does it say?
I saw Holtzman.
I saw Holtzman. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. And you can get a t-shirt.
Oh, nice. Oh, we got the whole merch table going. I dig it.
This is a Dead Air t-shirt. And you can get them at the Holtzman, the Holtzman.store.
Holtzman.store. Is this a website? Is it?
I guess. You tell me. You tell me what it is. Don't challenge me, man. Don't challenge me. You know how, I'm not one of these young people who know all about computers, So the Holtzman.store, you can get some of the merchandise you like. Follow me on my YouTube channel, Brian Holtzman on YouTube. I just put up a little video every day, hopefully every day. They're not more than 10 minutes. The longest one, I think, was 23 minutes on Valentine's Day. Sometimes I do Instagram, Brian Holtzman on Instagram. But you're very supportive, Vincent. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate having you on.
And the reason that I think like this is because I have a real respect for the art of stand-up comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do. So that's what, because you can't make somebody sneeze and you can't make somebody laugh. So it's a real tricky thing. I have a lot of respect for it. And I think that's what makes me so apprehensive about blowing my own horn or, why I'm kind of humble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you speak up and your ego starts talking, your ego's going to come around and bite you right in the fucking ass.
No, I'm sure. Yeah. No, it's, you've done great with the humility thing, and you're definitely probably right about that. Keeping yourself grounded, keeping your head on straight. I feel like what do we got?
One time in San Francisco, my friend, my girlfriend, what was her name? Freak. She made me close my eyes and she took me to a Sam Kinison Outlaw concert.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't tell me where I was going. That was fun.
She gave you the old Sammy surprise.
That was fun.
Is her name Barbara?
No, it wasn't Barbara. She was, fuck. I don't know what the fuck her name was.
Julia.
Oh, I remember. I remember what her name was. Her name was Bitch.
Did she do you dirty?
No, she was good. What was her name?
Suzanne.
Yeah, as soon as the podcast is over, I'll remember it.
We'll do a part 2 all about her.
Oh, let me see.
Zoom her up, see how she's doing.
I had something else. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right. We got Twitter at Holtzman Brian. Then we got Facebook, Brian Holtzman. And then we got Instagram, Brian Holtzman. I see this thing in blue, though. What is this thing in blue? I can't see it.
The blue is taped over a website I used to have.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. We're not messing with the blue anymore.
No. No, we're not. Absolutely not. Fuck, I can't remember her name. We'll just have to call her bitch.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. I mean, well, bitch, wherever you are, I hope things are well. I hope you have a good life. I don't know. I mean, hopefully you didn't do my friend Brian here dirty, and you can sleep at night. I don't know. Maybe she has night terrors thinking about what happened to you.
Night sweats. Night sweats.
Yeah. Missing the old Holtzman vibes. She's had to go 30 years without you.
Yeah. So thanks for thinking about me and having me on your podcast, buddy.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. So no scheduled dates right now. You're just kind of doing open mics down there?
I want to, not so much open mics. I want them to give me a spot and let me know I'm there, you know.
Okay. I got
Somebody called me. They want me to come to a place called Poor Choices.
Okay.
Choices on Thursday, and they're going to give me some money, but not enough for a fucking garage. That's for sure.
Hey.
And so if the weather breaks, maybe I'll get there. I'll take a Uber since my car is a little bit wrapped up. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
We're going to get that garage. We're going to get all the garages. This is for all the garages out there. We're coming for you. You're not safe. I'm going to give you that motivation. Brian, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You have a wonderful evening. Stay safe out there, and we're going to stay tuned, my friend.
Thanks for having me, buddy. I'll see you.
Been on my shit, not the potty. Sick of staying in, I wanna party. Won't apologize for being me, I'm sorry. You can call me, I think you my type of feast. You know that us thick boys like to eat. Chabella poi, vanilla qui. Turn the heat up, ignite the street. Thick boy summer, tip top form. Been in the crib like I just got born. Is that your girl? Tell her hit my phone. She can press record, get a TikTok on. Thick boy summer, thick, 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 thick boy summer. She like I'm thick, thick, thick boy summer, thick, thick boy summer, thick, thick boy summer. The summer is thick, thick boy summer, thick, 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 thick boy summer. She like I'm thick, thick, thick boy summer, thick, thick boy summer.